Hi friends, Namaste. This is an article written by Professor Kirtinatha Kurtakoti, D.R. Bendre, the Poet and Poetry, published by D.R. Bendre National Trust, Dharwad. This is the article titled BeLagu, the Dawn. BeLagu belongs to Bendre's first collection of poems, Gari. This is one of the earliest poems of Bendre, was first published in a journal called Saudharma and made him famous. Masti Venkatesh Iyengar has spoken highly of this poem in his introductory essay. It's one of the loveliest of his nature poems, presenting a living experience of the beauty of the sunrise. The young mind of the poet must have been affected by the physical aspect of the beauty of the sunrise. He describes the objects of nature in a surprisingly new way. What is remarkable about the poem, however, is that it is also the expression of Bendre's metaphysical vision of the universe. Most of the nature poems written in Kannada are Wordsworthian in spirit and expression. Bendre's poem is altogether different, as his view on nature is different from that of Wordsworth. Bendre's view is mystic. He has intuitively believed in and consciously cultivated an ideology that the world of natural objects, which can be grasped by the senses, is a manifestation of the supreme truth. The very fact that the truth is beautiful is an evidence that it is a living truth. The poem describes the sunrise not as a picture but as a phenomenon. It has the qualities of a miracle. The power to destroy darkness is inherent in light, which has also the power to transform all the earthly objects into something divine. Leaves, flowers, shrubs, birds, bright clouds showering peace from above are all clothed in heavenly light. For the time being, the earth becomes a region fit for the habitation of gods. The poem tries to reveal something much more profound and significant than merely describing the divine exaltation of material objects. Every word of the poem tries to unfold the mystery of natural happenings like the opening of birds, the singing of birds, and the search of the bees for fragrance and honey. These things happen spontaneously, but the source of inspiration is unknown. The effort of the poem as a whole is to discover the principle of what W.B. Yeats calls the unity of being. The universe as a whole is motivated into diverse kinds of actions by this principle. The objects of the natural world, both animate and inanimate, are related to a central power and hence the unity of life. Masti in his introduction speaks about the organic unity between the tree and the bird sitting on it, because the poem describes the singing bird as the throat of the tree. The metaphor, says Masti, is not a mere linguistic trick, but it is born out of the vision of unity. It is true of all the happenings described in the poem. Bhavabhuti, in one of his famous verses, speaks about the spontaneous relationship of love even between inanimate objects, as in the case of a lotus bud opening to the sunlight. Bendre's poem is a more intimate expression of the same inner cause, the principle of unity, which drives the objects and beings to love and create. The last stanza of the poem sums up the poet's experience of this beauty, revealing to him the mystery of the principle of unity. His senses are fully gratified and his mind is steeped in ecstatic delight, so much so that he becomes a part of the entire reality of this experience. The last lines, it is the essence of peace revealed through love. It is not mere dawn, brother. Do you remember? Idu bari belagallo anna. Do not merely interpret Bendre's vision of nature, but embody it. It's not simply a moral adage attached to the trail of the poem, but it is a truth of discovered by the poem. It's not simply a moral adage attached to the tale of the poem, but it is the truth discovered by the poem. Bendre has written a number of nature poems and some of them easily the best of the language. Like his poems on Shravana, the butterfly, Yugadi, or the damsel of winter. Shravana is one of the constant themes of his poetry, through which he has discovered a meaningful pattern of his own life. Shravana is one of the constant themes of his poetry, through which he has discovered a meaningful pattern of his own life. Yugadi is a poem on the Indian New Year Day, which has revealed to him the principle of the renewal of life, which shows even death as the seed of a better and a newer life. Bendre has not written pure nature poems of late. The function of nature in his later poetry is more symbolic in the sense that the objects of nature symbolize metaphysical states, like the koel becoming a symbol of a lost soul in his poem Shravana Monday, or the interdependence of the spiritual and material worlds for their completeness. Isn't this great? Thank you for being with me. Thank you for being with Poetry Time.